Well, it started probably in 1971 when I left the orphanage with a suitcase full of government-issued clothing, and I still have that suitcase today. You didn't have many personal items as a child, and so I've always kept my things. Then when we established Clan in 2000, I said to Joanna, we have to do an orphanage museum. So we started a little museum in a tiny little room in Bankstown. There's hardly any of these items available because many of it ended up in landfill. People thought that society wasn't interested in orphanage history. It's important for our children and other members of the Australian community to understand that we not only lost our parents and had to grow up and pretend they didn't matter, but we also lost connections to grandparents, aunties and uncles, and family history and objects. It's extremely important for people to donate precious items. Look at these darling, sweet kids. And this looks like a hand-knitted jumper. Do you remember the colour it was?
Well, yeah, I was 5. That was 63 years ago.
These photographs are really, really important. Are you going to give these to the Orphanage Museum?
Yes, to put on display.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. We have a lot of care leavers' histories and accounts, and child welfare history and orphanage history. It's the largest single collection probably in the world.
I've been president for 2 years now. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's an honour to represent Clan as the president and represent all our members. You know, it was physical abuse, sexual abuse and mental abuse, and it was relentless, endless. It was run by sadistic human beings. We all are sort of like brothers and sisters, I suppose, in arms, and yeah, all have had a common experience or made a decision to change the course of justice and have our voice heard.
My name is Leonard Mays. I was taken from my mother when I was 6 months old. It's very hurting. I was been in Berry Boys' home. They weren't very nice, no matter what I'd done. You know, if you'd done something wrong, well, like wet the bed or something, they would severely punish you. I hated the joint. I ran away from there several times.
It was just a different time in history that can never be repeated, thank goodness. I wasn't a ward of the state. I was from a broken home. During the 60s when I was a kid, the church would be part of caring for you. Being part of Clan now, we can support each other. And we weren't alone there, even though we may have felt that. There are other boys going through the same feelings, same situations, and someone who doesn't have to explain himself to, someone who understands exactly, and someone who can believe what the feelings are and what he's gone through. And often that's a difficult thing for the average person to understand.
I first went into care when I was just over 3 months old, and I stayed there until I was released from being a ward of the state. People are still living today with lots of trauma and scars. We weren't emotionally well. We were fearful and scared, and that inhibited our ability to live normal lives. Leonie and the team certainly provide a sense of belonging. Previous to that, you kind of felt alone and not really identified with anybody else, whereas now we identify with each other. We share that bond and that knowledge and understanding of having lived through that experience. It's important the public have access to places like this Orphanage Museum so that they can gain a better understanding of what our story means.
Here I've got the strap. I don't know which brother gave it, but they all had one, even down to one brother who had a strap he used to call the Red Terror. We used to cop that now and again. I was only at St Augustine's for about 4 days when I first copped it, and he gave it because my shoes weren't shiny enough at assembly. good to be with other people that have shared the same story. I'd encourage more care leavers to come to the new museum and help out. It'd be good to share the experience with others. And hopefully a lot of it's not repeated from some of the things that have happened in the past.
This was the Australian government who were neglectful of us, and they didn't care about what happened to Australian children at all. The police never believed us. The government didn't believe us. The churches and the charities who were funded to provide these services out of taxpayers' dollars, they certainly didn't want to believe us. I'm constantly speaking to people who never went to the Royal Commission. They don't know about redress. They don't know that they're eligible to go to the police and report these crimes. We got $2 million courtesy of the Commonwealth Government. We bought a property during COVID and it cost $1.8 million. We wish to thank the Australian government through the Department of Social Services who gave us this funding, who trusted us, trusted care leavers with the taxpayers' dollars. I don't think you can underestimate that. It means an awful lot. It took us a long time to find a suitable site, but we found it and we have a small collection. We hope that it will grow and that more people will donate objects. I don't want to see people throw it out. It needs to be collated in this unique Australian Orphanage Museum, and it needs to be visible for not only care leavers but for our children and our extended families to hear the voices of care leavers and the memories behind these important objects. And if they care about what happened to children in Australia's 900 orphanages this nation had, if they care about injustice to children, then this is why they should come.